Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you are having a great week so far. Guys, it is the week of San Diego Comic-Con. That's right, the event we wait all year for has come. A lot of good stuff, I'm sure, coming our way. I'm going to talk about that in just a few minutes, but first, I got a couple of stories I want to run through very briefly. So, let's start off the top, guys. First off, yesterday, we got our first look at the newest Kingsman trailer. And no, it's not Kingsmen, it's The King's Man. That's right, this is the prequel to the Kingsman Secret Service. This one, you got Ralph Fiennes. Is that what it is? Yes, Ralph Fiennes, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Matthew Good, Harrison Dickinson. Just a big cast of this. Stanley Tucci, they're all in there. The first trailer came out, and I gotta say it's a little odd because I swear it was just like 2 weeks ago I was talking about how this film was starting production, and it seems like they already got a trailer out for it. Now, the premise of the movie is, quote, as a collection of history's worst tyrants and criminals, masterminds gather to plot a war to wipe out millions. One man must race against time to stop them. I'm assuming they're talking about Ralph Fiennes as the Duke of Oxford, as he's called on IMDb. Looks like he's going to be training a young apprentice in very much Kingsman style, played by Harrison Dixon, who's going to be the character known as Conrad. A lot of action. You're going back to World War I, it looks like. The formation of the Kingsman group, the privately organized secret service group that helps protect the world. I'm thinking Mr. Fiennes is going to be the first one. He's going to train his first apprentice and kind of get the ball rolling on there. This is being directed by Matthew Vaughn, who directed the first Kingsman film. He produced and helped write the second. Very capable director, very much a director that if he's in a film or doing a film, I'm definitely going to check it out. And with this, it looks no different. Comes out February 14th, I believe. Hold on, let me take a look here. The film is set to come out. Yes, February 14th, Valentine's Day, of course. What a lovely film for Valentine's Day. But also February is that time of year where, it doesn't have a lot of competition. So it's a film that can definitely thrive being taking up that spot that time of year. So I think, of course, it looks interesting. I wasn't that thrilled with the second Kingsman movie, The Golden Circle. But I really enjoyed the first one. It was very much a surprise to me how much I enjoyed the first one. So on that alone, and the fact that Matthew Vaughn is coming back to direct, I think, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Definitely go check it out. But what do you guys think? Did you like this first look at The Kingsman? Let me know what you think, of course. Fire back on the social media groups and Gmail account. Hit me up. All right, next up, Amazon has announced they are adapting a Brian K. Vaughan novel, Paper Girls. Now, the book follows 4 teenage girls in 1988. While delivering newspapers, the girls find themselves thrust into a war between time-traveling factions. Along the way, the girls also discover what their respective futures hold. The series isn't that old, actually. It's on issue 30 this month, so it's pretty new of a series to get a live-action adaptation. But, this happens. I remember Kick-Ass, the original Kick-Ass. It wasn't even done with its original run before it was picked up as a film. So these things happen. Now, Brian K. Vaughan, for those of you who don't know, also wrote Marvel's Runaways, which is now a Hulu series, and Why the Last Man, which has gone through a lot of developmental stages. Right now, I think it's being set to come out as a TV series on FX. At one point, it was set for a movie and then a TV series, and it had some sordid history, but anyway, definitely a writer that his stuff. Paper Girls, I gotta be honest, I checked it out probably at least a couple months ago, and I couldn't get into it. I read it, and I'm like, I get the nostalgia factor. really, when you look at it and if you read the book, it does have that little bit of Stranger Things vibe. So I can see why Amazon Studios wants to pick up a series like this because of the success of Stranger Things on Netflix and the fact that this has a similar vibe to it. It doesn't deal with monsters, but, it's in the 80s. It's a bunch of young kids. I can get what the appeal is to take something like this and make it live action. Totally understandable. So I'm not a big fan of it. I think, for my taste, it was but I can be convinced to watch it. I mean, it's something where if I come out and the trailer looks good, I'll check it out. Not a problem there. Just the book itself didn't hold my interest. I just read a couple of issues and I just couldn't get into it. And then that's just the way it is. Not everything is meant for everyone. Some stuff, you just can't get into and you got to move on. That's just the way it is in life. But anyway, Paper Girls coming to Amazon. Have you read this book? Are you interested in it? What do you think? Of course, fire back on Facebook, Twitter, and the Gmail account. Let me know, guys. All right, and the last little short story here. Now, in recent years, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have teamed up with quite a few people. They've teamed up with the Ghostbusters. They're most famously teamed up with Batman. I think there was one other one I'm missing here. But anyway, it was announced by IDW and Boom Studios that there will be a 5-issue miniseries, which is Power Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So in this book, quote, Tommy, the Green Ranger, will mysteriously turn on his team. When Tommy joins forces with the Shredder, the Rangers will team up with the Turtles to take them down. Another team up, of course, to be honest, these are a bit gimmicky in my eyes. And the Turtles have been involved in quite a few of these team ups. Even the Batman Ninja Turtle one, I really couldn't get into. So with this, I'm not super excited about it. Now, I do love the current Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series. It's almost on issue 100, actually. I have a lot of the digital graphic novels on my Kindle. I'm enjoying the series. I have since almost issue number 1. So with that, that's great. Power Rangers, they actually have a decent comic out now. Or at least they did. I don't know what they're doing with Boom Studios. I feel like they're kind of readjusting things with them. But the one they had out a little while ago, like last year or the year before, was pretty good. It wasn't too kiddie-ish. It had some little bit mature content to it. So I enjoyed that as well. But these team-ups, I mean, it's just, they're a little odd. And honestly, they're very gimmicky. And the story is never really that solid. Ghostbusters Ninja Turtles, nah. Batman Ninja Turtles, nah. To be honest, probably the best crossover I've read in recent years was Star Trek and Green Lantern. They actually did, I think, 2 storylines of that. I know I have the first one. The second one, I think, is set to come out or maybe come out. I'm not quite sure. And you have these other ones. There's one that came out, what was it? It was Transformers and someone else recently. I forget what it was. But these crossovers are, very gimmicky, and a lot of times they don't have that great of a story. So when it comes to Power Rangers Ninja Turtles, I'm not super excited about it. I might check out the first issue or 2, see where it goes. But it's one of those things that I'm not holding my breath that it's going to be awesome. But comes out in December, guys. Check it out. Let me know, if you like the idea, of course. Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, they have a lot of crossover fans, of course, too. So it makes sense you would put these guys together. Whether it'll work or not, we'll just have to wait and see, guys. Okay, well, let's get right into it, guys. It's Comic-Con week. San Diego Comic-Con is here. It's kind of the big event of geekdom for the whole year, and a lot of people get really excited about it. I know for years I talked about going eventually to San Diego Comic-Con. To be honest, I don't think I'm ever going to go to San Diego Comic-Con. My big event every year seems to be Star Wars Celebration, something me and my wife really enjoy going to, and I'm probably going to keep that way. San Diego, from what I hear, is just, really crowded. I heard, someone complain on the Star Wars Celebration group that it, the way that it's turning into very much like San Diego Comic-Con with the big crowds and the long lines and just the way it's so busy, it's hard to really do anything you really want to do. So I'm okay, sitting back and watching trailers roll in online, watching the news sites, and getting all my information that way. Of course, you miss out on the sneak peeks and stuff like that. I get it, but I'm getting a little more patient in my old age now. I'm a year older now, of course, than I was last week, so I, can wait for the big stuff, of course. One thing I love about Star Wars Celebration is, all the free stuff you get handed out, like the posters and all that. So, I'm sure I'm missing that at San Diego as well, but, I'm not too broken up about it considering I got too much crap in my house anyway I need to get rid of. Anyway, right before San Diego Comic-Con and right after Comic-Con, you usually get a little bit of a lull in the news, which you could kind of feel last week a little bit. There wasn't a lot to talk about. I did one show last week, and mainly I talked about Spider-Man Far From Home and Stranger Things was kind of my main things. And then, like I said, there wasn't a lot to talk about. I didn't do a show on Thursday, mainly because I was busy, but also because I didn't have a lot to talk about. So really it's going to be like this week when we get everything, and then I'll probably roll into next week. I remember last year I had to do a two-parter as far as Comic-Con coverage because there was so much to cover. It'll probably be like that again this year. Whether I can get to all of it, I doubt it, but I'll try my best. But anyway, I just want to talk about some of the things that are set to be scheduled this year for Comic-Con, what we expect to see, what we think we're going to see, what we hope to see, stuff like that. And I hopped over to the IO9 page, or io9.gizmodo.com, and their article is all the best sci-fi TV and movies coming to Comic-Con 2019. So I'm just going to run down the list, kind of let you know, things that I'm looking forward to seeing, things that I kind of want to check out. And you, of course, fire back on the social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know what you're hoping to see or what you're excited to see about Comic-Con this year. All right, well, on their list, the first thing they have is Terminator Dark Fate. Of course, the new Terminator film coming out this year. It's set to be a direct sequel to Terminator 2 Judgment Day. You're going to forget about Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, so forget about Terminator Salvation, forget about Terminator Genesis. It's going to be direct sequel. Linda Hamilton is back. Arnold Schwarzenegger's back. It's going to be a little different. That first trailer was okay. Apparently, we're going to see more of that. That's going to be on Thursday, so you guys can check that out. Maybe Thursday morning, we'll get a new trailer or some new information, and I'll be able to fire back with some good stuff in regards to that. Netflix is bringing The Witcher to Comic-Con. That's going to be on Friday, and that, of course, starring Henry Cavill. We got a couple of pictures. I bet we're going to get probably their first trailer. The Witcher, based off the video game series, which is based off the books, and not a huge fan. I honestly have no clue really what this is all about. So I'm looking forward to maybe a trailer coming out with that. It's Henry Cavill. I could get into my thoughts about him and Superman and, how he's been treated, I guess, especially within this last year. But I'm not going to do that. I will skip that. Needless to say, it looks very interesting. This is the day and age in a post-Game of Thrones world where every television network, every streaming service is looking for the next Game of Thrones, the next big fantasy drama that's going to pull everyone in. Netflix has The Witcher. Amazon has Lord of the Rings. I'm sure there are other, series or stations or streaming services that are cooking something up right now too, but The Witcher seems to be Netflix's gamble. If it's going to pay off or not, we'll wait and see. On Friday, we got The Boys. That's right, the Amazon series that comes out the end of this month is going to be giving a little preview of that. I'm excited for The Boys. I think it should be very interesting. I've read a little bit of the comics, so depending on what they show us here, I bet people who go to this is probably going to get to see the first episode, I imagine. We're so close to the premiere anyway. I bet they get to see the first episode would be my guess and get a little review of it going on. So that's what I expect to see from that one. Also on Friday, you got the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance panel. Now this, of course, is the new series by Netflix that is going to be the prequel to the Dark Crystal '80s puppetry movie, I guess you would call it. I never was a big fan of The Dark Crystal, to be honest. I don't think I really saw it anytime within the last like 30 years. I'm pretty sure you can hop on Netflix right now and watch the original film. I might do that, I guess. I know it has a big cult following. It's nice, big spectacle fantasy. I get it. Just something I, never really looked back into from my childhood. But who knows? Maybe I'll check it out and maybe I'll get something good for this panel. One thing that does seem interesting as well on Friday is Carnival Row. It's going to be a new fantasy show starring Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne. I think I said that last name right. I honestly have no idea. We got a short teaser from the show already. Looks like we might get a full trailer debuting at the panel. And I honestly have no idea. It looks very interesting. However, Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne, not exactly the best thespians. So, I'll give it a shot, I guess, maybe. See what the trailer comes out. Anyway, it looks like it could be cool fantasy. That's all I gotta say. Also on Friday, we get a Game of Thrones panel. That's right. Looks like David Benioff and Mr. Weiss are going to kind of face the firing squad, I think, a little bit. They're set to show up, talk a little bit of Game of Thrones, and it'll be interesting to see how that panel goes, given how many people were disappointed with the end of Game of Thrones. But you know what? I was okay with the way it ended. I didn't love it, but it was okay. So we'll see exactly what they have to bring us. Maybe they'll talk more about the upcoming prequel series. Maybe even give us a little bit more as far as what other series might be coming from the land of Westeros. Who knows, guys? Preacher's got something coming up. Preacher, I think, is going to be on its last season this season, so they'll probably talk a little bit about that. Batwoman, the CW shows are coming to Comic-Con. I will say nothing that I've seen from this Batwoman series so far has excited me. Batwoman in the crossover Elseworlds last year was okay. I mean, it wasn't great in my opinion, so I'm not so excited about it. Now, the CW shows, the Arrowverse, of course, I am excited because this year we're getting Crisis on Infinite Earths. They've been teasing about this for a while. Arrow is ending. You got 10 more episodes of Arrow before that show ends. There's a lot of stuff going on. Usually around Comic-Con, you'll get kind of these summary trailers with the Arrowverse shows talking about basically what happened within this last season, and at the end you might get a minute to maybe 30 seconds of new stuff from the upcoming season. I know they just started shooting some stuff for the Arrowverse shows, so what they'll be prepared for, I don't know. What kind of panels they'll have too, because if they have an Arrow panel, that they're going to be talking about the end, the final series, this final season. And also, of course, I think bleeding over to the other Arrowverse series about how they might be affected, that, the show that started all Arrow is going to be ending, and what it could mean for the Arrowverse and the other shows that are connected to it. So we'll wait and see how those panels go, and of course, I'll be sure to talk about those. Over on the Trekkie side, you got Star Trek coming to Comic-Con. They're going to be talking about Star Trek Discovery, the newest season of that. You got Picard. That's going to be coming out as well. And then more info on the animated series Lower Decks. Of course, CBS All Access and Paramount are going all in on Star Trek series. To be honest, I want to hear more about the movies. I've been a fan of the last couple of Star Trek films. The Kelvin Timeline comic books written by Mike Johnson, I have really enjoyed, actually. If you haven't checked those out, check them out on Kindle and Amazon and all that. But I've enjoyed it. I've never been a big Star Trek fan, but the way J.J. Abrams kind of reinterpreted the world, created this alternate timeline known as the Kelvin timeline, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the comics. I've enjoyed the movies. So I want to see more about that, see about continuing that. I know there were negotiation breakdowns between Chris Pine and Paramount, along with Chris Hemsworth, who was set to come back and reprise his role as Kirk's dad in a fourth film. things aren't going well on that, so we might not, get a continuation. I hope we do. I hope something happens. But they're focusing on the positive, which is Discovery, Picard, and all the stuff that is to come from Star Trek TV. So we're gonna get more information on that at Comic-Con, and looks like that is going to be at Hall H on Saturday. Let's see here. Westworld Season 3, or Westworld 3 as they call it, is going to be at Hall H on Saturday. Never been a fan of Westworld, so, kind of skipped that. Snowpiercer, they're coming out with a series on TBS, which is based off the 2013 Chris Evans film. I enjoyed the film. It wasn't great, but I enjoyed it, so interested to see how they're going to turn this movie that was based off a graphic novel into a TV series, especially on TBS. Let's see here. Of course, Marvel Studios is going to be Hall H on Saturday, and a lot of people are really looking at this one because we don't have a good idea of what's coming down the road. I mean, we know Black Widow is in production, so that's probably going to be the first film we get out of Phase 4. Eternals is casting. We also have, Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2 coming down the pike. You have Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I know scripts been written. James Gunn is back to set to direct. We got that. There's the other one, the Kung Fu guy. What's his name? Not Iron Fist, although I wish it was Iron Fist. But there's rumors of that coming out too. So we have things that we've heard about, things that we know are in production, but we don't have anything solid. Be like, hey, this is coming on this date, or this is coming on this date. Nothing set for as far as release dates. So it's all really up in the air. Now, years ago, right before Age of Ultron came out, Marvel and Disney had this big old presentation where they released everything, or told you everything they were coming out with, from Age of Ultron all the way to Avengers 4, which we now know as Endgame. Phase 3 is wrapped up now. Starting Phase 4. Kevin Feige probably going to be there, expecting to make some announcements as films and what's coming out. Whether they're going to do a big old slate again, I don't know. Hopefully they got some good surprises as far as what's coming out. Maybe something that we don't know about. Hopefully, it's time to make a splash. But with Marvel now too, given the fact that they're owned by Disney, Disney also has D23. They like to save some stuff for their own convention. Same thing with Star Wars. Star Wars, you don't get a lot when it comes to Comic-Con nowadays because you have D23, which again, Star Wars is now a Disney property, but also Star Wars Celebration, where you have, all the Star Wars fans gathered that are expecting some big news, some good stuff, and if you don't give us that stuff, we get a little disappointed and we get a little grumpy, and trust me, there's nothing worse than a grumpy Star Wars fan. So I think, Star Wars wise, they're going to hold back a little bit, save that for, the celebrations, even D23. But with Marvel, Kevin Feige's set to be there. We're talking Marvel characters, Marvel comics. It's Comic-Con. Let's see what they give us, and hopefully they give us something good. Let's see, what else here? Supernatural is going to be in Hall H on Sunday. It is the final season for Supernatural. Jensen Ackles, Jared Padalecki, and I'm sure the whole team will be there to talk about what's to come in the final season. Supernatural is one of those shows. I watched up through, I think, season 7 or 8, and it had a great storyline those first 5 seasons. And I even enjoyed season 6. But by the end of season 7, it was getting a little repetitive, a little tired, so, I was done with it. I think they're going, season 16 or 17, which is great. Great for a show like this. I'm glad, a show like this exists. My brother still watches it. Totally awesome. So I'm interested to see exactly how they're going to wrap it all up. Who knows? If it looks interesting, if they give me a good trailer at the panel, I might actually watch this final season. We'll see how it goes, guys. Okay, DC Universe series sneak peeks. Okay, so no one really knows the fate of the DC Universe streaming service. I mean, I have it. I enjoy it. You got a bunch of DC movies. You got a bunch of comics to read. You also have original content. Titans, I'm sure we're going to get a sneak peek at Season 2. Swamp Thing, which has been canceled. We'll see if we get any information about why that was canceled, actually. You also have Doom Patrol, which people seem to really like. I enjoy it for what it is. I didn't watch the whole season, so I'm like, nah. Also, Young Justice, Outsiders, still airing right now on the streaming service. Actually, a new episode dropped today. I gotta be sure to check that out. But I love that series. I love me some Titans, so I'm curious about that. I think we have Stargirl still coming down the pipe, so maybe they'll give us more information about that. I thought there was another series that they're working on too, in regards to the DC Universe streaming service, but I don't remember. Oh, the Harley Quinn stuff, yes. We've talked about the Harley Quinn for a while, the animated series. I wouldn't be surprised if they give you an episode of that, perhaps, or at least a new trailer or something like that in regards to that. But also, speaking of animated, the DC animated movie universe, which started off with Justice League War or Flashpoint Paradox, whichever way you want to go with it. I know Batman Hush, the new one, comes out at the end of the month. It said that you're going to get to watch the movie if you're there, so don't spoil anything for me. I really enjoy that animated cinematic universe more than I actually enjoy some of the live action stuff. So I'm anxious to see Batman Hush. I'm anxious to see what else they're going to contribute to this animated shared universe because I'm really enjoying it. And hopefully they'll give us an idea of what's to come as far as after Batman Hush. I know there's a Wonder Woman one, I think, that's supposed to be coming down the road. I'd like another Justice League one, kind of diversified, because I do believe the Batman ones have been some of the better ones, and I get why they keep doing them. This is their fourth Batman animated movie in this universe. I get it, but I'd like to diversify a little more as far as what we see, and let's get some more characters spotlight, I guess you would say. And then, of course, the live-action DC films. We got Wonder Woman coming, Aquaman 2, I think, is eventually going to get there. What else? I mean, Birds of Prey. I bet we get a look at Birds of Prey. I bet that's going to be one of those things too. And then, of course, you got Joker with Joaquin Phoenix coming out in October. We'll probably get an idea, maybe another trailer for that. There's one more that I'm thinking about that I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, we'll get some stuff probably from the movies as well. Out of all that, I think maybe I'm probably most excited to look at Birds of Prey. Joker, okay. Wonder Woman, okay. I'm very curious what they're going to do with the characters of, Black Canary and Batgirl and all that stuff and see how it's all going to go. I'm a little hesitant because I know Harley Quinn's going to play a big role in it. Hopefully not. And you know what? They might surprise us too, actually, and bring out Robert Pattinson, or maybe give us some kind of announcement as far as villains. I swear, though, if one more female actress comes out and says they're willing to play Catwoman, I'm going to scream. I'm obviously going to scream, but maybe we'll get more of that. A lot of surprises, hopefully, coming our way. And that's Comic-Con. Just a little brief, mention of kind of what I think would be cool to see. More stuff, of course, along that way. But it is here, guys. San Diego Comic-Con. Time for you guys to fire back. Let me know what you're excited to see, what you hope to see, what you want to see. Of course, this all starts on Thursday. How early? Probably not that early. So I might forego my show on Thursday and actually do a Friday night episode talking about, stuff that happened on Thursday, maybe some stuff talked about Friday, and then I might go back and do maybe a Sunday or Monday episode. I don't know, guys. I think I'm going to do a little bit irregular, so yes, I'm not good about doing a Thursday show to begin with, but definitely going to, try to cover all the Comic-Con stuff, and who knows, maybe I'll do like little shows. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes. But you can definitely be sure. Stay tuned within the next week, and I will be talking Comic-Con, okay? I promise. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. Of course, fire back on the social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know if you have any thoughts about any of the stuff I've talked about. Again, or what are you excited about for Comic-Con? Also, Paper Girls, have you read the comic series? Do you like it? Are you excited for the Amazon show? Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles. Let me know what you think about that. And of course, the Kingsman trailer. Let me know if you're excited for that film. That's it, guys. You can find me personally on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram and Twitter, Slim Daystring 12. That's it. Go out, enjoy your week. Hope you have a good one, guys. And until next time, may the force be with us all.